Thinking about moving to LA or thinking about buying a home in LA? Well, let's take a look at the prices. We'll look at the first quarter 2021 median and average home prices so you can see what prices are like here in Los Angeles. Let's take a look. All right, so the first slide, we'll start with a big overview of LA County. So LA County median home prices as of March 2021 is $668,220. So LA County is a big area. It covers from the high desert, Lancaster, Palmdale area, all the way down to the Long Beach or South Bay area, I should say, and Malibu all the way to Pomona. So it's a huge area. This median price covers that whole area. So $668,220. Now let's look at 2019, just to kind of give us a baseline. 2019 prices were, kind of started out low in the beginning of the year, and then went up as the summer came, and then kind of dipped a little bit in the winter. Then last year, 2020, home prices started even higher than the beginning of 2019, and were throughout the whole year higher than 2018. There was a bit of a dip once the pandemic started, but man, prices just shot up all the way through the summer, where typically summer is the selling season, spring and summer, and prices just shot up, and then another dip in the wintertime. And beginning of this year, so prices always seem to kind of start off a little bit good or high, and then dip slightly as we get into spring. So through March, prices kind of dip down from the beginning of the year. Now let's look at LA Metro or metropolitan area, which is more the city of LA area and not the entire county. So this is more city of LA. Median home prices slightly higher at $680,000. Let's look at 2019. Prices were a little bit flat, although it did go up. There is an increase, just not a huge spectacular spike in prices. 2020, again, we see that kind of dip from when the pandemic first started, and then it just kind of shot up and finished out the year much higher than 2019. And 2021, beginning of this year, prices continue at the level it ended in last year and just continue to go up. There's no dip like I typically see in the early months or the first quarter of every year. Now let's look at more specialized areas like Lake Balboa. It's a nice area in the San Fernando Valley. It's known to be a nice neighborhood for the price. So here you can get a decent 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the valley where it's a little more affordable. Median price, unfortunately, has gone up. It's $830,027. It used to be like $500,000. Then it slowly started creeping up to 600s, 700, and now it just shot up to 830. And this was in the span of like 3 years. 3 years ago, it was about $600,000 median price. So let's look at 2019. Yeah, you'll see that, well, it started there above 600,000, ended the year in a high note. 2020, pretty much for the whole year except for 1 month, prices were consistently higher than in 2019 and ended strongly. 2021, prices continue from the end of 2020 and are continuing to go up. Let's look at another area, West LA. West LA is a pretty nice area. This is the LA Basin area, so it's going to be always pretty cool and temperate there. And West LA has a lot going on. Google is opening a new headquarters. Well, I don't know if it's new headquarters, but they've leased a former shopping mall, Westside Pavilion, and the majority of it for their office space for the West Side. And so that area is always pretty booming. Prices there always kind of fluctuate pretty wildly, but they are pretty consistent. Beginning of the year the end of the year, I should say, ended a little bit lower than the beginning of the year in 2019. 2020, it looks like a wild ride. The year did end on a high note, higher than the end of 2019. And 2020 started out really low, This is the area where I normally see a lot of dipping in the first quarter of the year, and then always usually ends up strong in the summer, and then kind of peaks a little bit in the wintertime. Let's look at another area, West Hollywood. Oh, sorry, we should go back to West LA. The median price there is $1.3 million. So here you're getting into luxury home pricing. It's not actually a luxury area, although there are a lot of older homes being torn down and built into nice new modern boxy mansions that utilize pretty much every square foot of the lot. A lot of nice homes in that area. Some areas are nicer than others, but that's West LA. It's no longer really an affordable area. It's getting closer to luxury pricing, which leads me into West Hollywood. Here you are getting into luxury price territory. Median price is $2.7 million. What kind of skews West Hollywood is you have the hillside homes, the bird streets, where there are a lot of nice high-end luxury, truly luxury homes. And every day they're building new ones, tearing down old houses and building huge houses. If you have a view here in the West Hollywood Hills, you can, the sky's the limit in terms of pricing. There are homes like 10 million, 20, 30, 40, $50 million homes in West Hollywood. But you also have the flat part of West Hollywood where there's more traditional or typical houses, and those kind of offset the median or the average. So 2019, it goes up and down. 2020, it went even more up and down. And 2021, it started out high, dipped down, and now it's going back up. It's right now it's higher than it ended last year, but it's not near as high as the highest high back in March of last year, which is surprising. So I guess West Hollywood shows that before the pandemic hit, prices were on a steep uphill climb, and then once the pandemic hit, it just kind of dropped. Well, hey, I hope that was helpful to you to get an idea of what the LA area housing market is like, at least for the first quarter 2021. This is Dale Shin, LA Area Realtor. Click the thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay tuned for my next video.